This is Air Up, a product that's been gaining quite a lot of traction recently due to really well-refined marketing around a pretty intriguing idea in order to get people to be more healthy and to drink more water, and also to reduce single-use plastics in the process. Notably, and kind of surprisingly, to me at least, one of the biggest investors in Air Up and is helping its growth is the Pepsi company. But is Air Up just another one of those really well-marketed gimmicks, or is there actually something special to it? And on top of this, is it actually as healthy for you as the marketing may make it seem? Let's find out. So, when you open the box, you'll find the bottle itself, a hefty manual for you water drinking newbies, and some scent pods based on the flavors that you picked up. I myself bought the metal flask, which, although is a little bit more expensive, you get less plastic, so you win some, you lose some. Having said that, it's just the water container that is metal. The rest is plastic, the lid plastic, the pod plastic, and the straw is plastic. So if avoiding plastic is something that you care about, then this is probably not the product for you. Now these pods here are actually pretty interesting. If you look closely, there's two holes in the pod. There's one on the bottom face and there's one on the inner rim of the pod. This aligns with the hole in the straw here. So you just need to align and push the pod in like so. When the pod is pushed all the way down, it's in its deactivated state. Nothing's going to happen. If you drink from the bottle, you're just going to taste water. But when you pull the scent pod up, that's when you activate it. So when you drink from the bottle, you get an airflow. And within that airflow is an aroma that, according to the website, hacks your senses. It's kind of weird at first because when you drink from the bottle, you get a weird, like, airy sound. And it's obnoxious, but it's meant to happen, so there you go. You see, taste isn't just generated from our taste buds. In fact, our taste buds are quite rudimentary, and they really only detect the main tastes, such as sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and umami, which I still don't fully know what that is. The complexity and nuance of flavor is actually from the olfactory receptors, which is through smell. And this accounts for around 80 to 90% of your flavor perception. It's a combination between the taste that you get from your taste buds and the aroma that travels up to your olfactory receptors to create the full flavor experience. And that is freaking cool. That's also why when you get ill or you get a cold, you lose your ability to taste as well, because most likely your nose is congested, it's compromised, and the majority of your flavor perception is also compromised as a result. So when you pull from the straw of the Air Up bottle like this, you're actually getting a combination of water from just the typical bottle and the scent that comes from the aroma pod here through the hole and up into your olfactory receptors. This is called retronasal olfaction. Really rolls off the tongue there, doesn't it? And that's opposed to the one that's even more difficult to say, which is orthnasal olfaction. And that's where instead of the scent coming through the mouth up to the olfactory receptors, it's going through the nose to the olfactory receptors because it is smell. And this specific solution is actually patented by Air Up under the name Scent Taste. So if you did want to have a look at more documentation and more explanation, I'm sure they have some around there. Now, as you'd expect, different scent pods allow your brain to perceive different flavors, which brings me on to the next point. How do they taste? Now, I've tried 3 flavors at the moment: the peach, forest fruits, and orange vanilla swirl, which I don't have the pod for anymore because it was ghastly and I threw it out. Not sponsored. I only really like the forest fruits flavor at the moment. The other two just taste unnatural and they smell really chemically. And my girlfriend felt a little bit queasy after trying Air Up on the first day because, especially with the orange vanilla swirl, it just came across as really chemically as soon as you opened up the pod. And as well as that, you're getting a lot of airflow in. So it's not like you're just drinking water, you're just sucking up gases as well. It's a bit weird. So yeah, it's a bit overwhelming at first. The forest fruits tasted quite nice and fairly natural actually, which I really like. It's not a super strong flavor if that's what you like. It's like a subtle hint of forest fruits to the water you're drinking. It's kind of like you get orange squash or orange concentrate and then you put too much water into the mixture so it's just very diluted. But I became a little bit curious. As I was getting a chemically and artificial taste from the orange vanilla swirl and to an extent the peach as well, I did a little bit of research to see if Air Up would say anything about this, and on their website they say, whilst we can't give away all our secrets, we can say that our scents come from a high quality scent manufacturer who extracts them from natural sources Our scent creation team then produces the most diverse and creative flavors imaginable from those ingredients, and voila, a flavor pod is created. So that's great, all of their ingredients are from natural sources. Why am I tasting the chemically taste? I'm not entirely sure. However, in that response, one thing that they mentioned was that the scent manufacturer extracts from natural sources. Now, I don't know a lot about scent manufacturing, but the extraction process from what I've researched can be done in the following ways. Steam distillation, where you're using steam to get essential oils from plants. Solvent extraction, where you're using a solvent to dissolve and extract essential compounds. Cold pressing, which is extracting oils without heat in order to keep the natural qualities. Fractional distillation, separating liquids based on boiling points. And then finally, we have chemical synthesis, which is creating compounds by combining similar chemicals in reactions. If the extraction is through steam distillation, through cold pressing, or even through fractional distillation, these would be considered more natural ways to extract and would be considered to be safer. However, if it uses the other extraction methods, such as solvent extraction or chemical synthesis, it wouldn't be aligned to a more natural lifestyle if that's what you're going for. Again, I'm not an expert on this. I don't know what Arup use. They could very well use steam distillation or one of the more natural processes, but I had a chemically smell and taste from the Arup flavors, and so I'm curious, and if anyone has any insight into this, I would really like to hear it, so it'd be great to hear from you. Also note how they said, while we can't give away all of our secrets. This is something that I've already mentioned in my natural homemade hair clay video that I'll link up here. You see, companies aren't obligated to disclose what ingredients go into their product, so long as it makes up a fragrance or aroma, at least in the US and in Europe. Now, I understand the need for unique selling points to differentiate yourself and to make a profit, but at the same time, I really dislike having this information withheld because I think that individuals need to have the full breadth of information in order to make well-informed decisions, and I think that it places an, in my opinion, unearned sense of trust in companies and regulatory agencies in order to have our best interests in mind. Let me know if you disagree with this statement, if you have another way of looking at it. I'd love to hear it. That's awesome. Okay, where do I stand on this product, the Arup Flask? I think it's a neat concept with a really nice design and a commendable goal. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with we need to drink more water and we need to reduce plastics. I kind of see it as vaping meets drinking water. If you typically drink Coke, Pepsi, Fanta, juice concentrates, that type of stuff, this Arup bottle might be a really good idea for you. Maybe it's a necessary step in order to get you to start drinking more water, in which case, all the power to you. This is probably a great product for you. If you already drink water on a daily basis and you haven't got a problem doing so, I wouldn't recommend this product. First of all, it's kind of expensive. This product cost me in and around €60, and that's not even counting into the fact that it's not a one-off purchase. You're going to be having to buy refills for the scents, which last around 5 litres, which is not a lot of time to have the scents. Secondly, reducing single-use plastics is a commendable goal from Arup, but you can do the same by getting a metal or a glass bottle. It doesn't need to be done in such a fancy way like this. Lastly, I do think that it's likely going to be the more healthy option to not use the scent pods in the first place. Finally, I want to maintain my theme of well-being and intentionality by saying this. Sensory input should not be underestimated. As a society, it does seem that more and more people are requiring more and more stimulation from multiple different inputs, but in this particular case, through overly palatable flavors. There is something to be said about the mindfulness approach of being able to maintain a baseline appreciation for the subtleties of taste. Now, I'm not saying that Arup is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back or anything like that, but I also don't think it's a good idea to increase that baseline for what you find to be palatable for no good reason. That's just my thoughts. If you disagree, that's awesome. Let me know in the comments below and we'll have good discourse on it. Awesome. But that's what I have to say on Arup. It's not necessarily a gimmick. It's a decent product with very, very good marketing. If you liked this video, make sure to drop me a like. I'm a new creator, so it does help a lot. And if you found this video interesting, maybe you'd like some of the other videos on my channel. In that case, why not take a nice little stroll through my channel and subscribe if you want to see other videos in the future. Until then, catch you later.